Hi there. Hi, thank you for coming in today. My name is Dr. Periwinkle and I am a mental health professional. Psychiatrist, yes. So I can see here from my notes that you've come in today for a mental health assessment. Perfect, okay. And I can also see that you have self-referred. So you didn't go through your GP. That's fine. We accept self-referrals all the time. So what we will do is we will begin by just confirming your personal details, your name, date of birth, and your contact number. And then I'll just ask you to tell me in your own words how you've been feeling lately. Yep, how you're feeling, how long it's been going on for, what symptoms you feel that you have. And I would just advise you to be as open and honest and as frank as possible with me. Yes, this is a very safe environment. Everything that you tell me is confidential. You'll find no judgment whatsoever here. There's no shame, no need to be embarrassed. So just in your own words, and you can say as much or as little as you like, but I do advise you to be as thorough as possible, as detailed as possible. And then what we'll do is we'll run through some questions, and at the end, hopefully, I'll be able to give you a diagnosis if one is applicable, and then we will move on to looking at some treatment options. Okay, so we have a lot to cover today, but don't worry, the session will take as long as it needs to, and I'm hoping that by the end we will come out with a really good, clear action plan for you. Okay? Fantastic. So before we begin, could I get you a glass of water or a cup of tea? No? Okay, just let me know if you need to take a break, you need to go to the toilet, or if you would like a drink later on, okay? Perfect. Alright, so if you could just confirm with me your full name. Thank you. And your date of birth. Perfect. The contact, telephone number, and or email address, whichever you prefer. Perfect. And could I have the name of your GP and the doctor's surgery that you go to? Okay, so as you self-referred, just wondering, have you spoken to your GP about your mental health? You haven't yet? Okay. Do you prefer to keep it separate, or do you consent to your GP being made aware of any medications or treatments we might end up going with? You do? Okay, that's great. Thank you then. Right, do you mind if I take down any notes? Yeah, just got a little notebook here. I'm not typing anything up on the computer, so don't worry about that. And the notes will all be shredded at the end of the session. Okay then, so this is the part where you just open up and tell me in your own words what's been going on and how you're feeling. Yeah. Okay. And how long have you been feeling like that? A few months. Alright then. Is this something that is affecting you on and off over the past few months? Or would you say it's been affecting you almost constantly over the past few months? Would you say that you've had any relief from these feelings? Have you had any good days, or has it been quite low overall? Okay, so it's sounding a bit like depression. Would you say that's fair to say? Yeah, so that's what you thought it would be. Okay, so don't worry, we will get this sorted for you, okay? There's no shame in admitting that you're feeling low, no shame in asking for help. You've definitely done the right thing by coming in today. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so what we'll do, I'm just going to run through some of the more common symptoms of depression. And if you could just tell me over the past 2 or 3 months if you've experienced any of these. Okay, you can say yes or no, or you can say give me some idea of how much, whether it's affected you a lot, sometimes, or not very often, okay? So you can answer the questions however you like. Okay, so obviously number 1 is low mood. Yeah, most of the time. Okay. Tearfulness and kind of episodes of crying. Sometimes. Would you say that these crying episodes have a very clear trigger, or do you sometimes not know why you're crying? So sometimes it just happens. Okay. So do you sometimes feel like lots of different things, lots of little things are all adding up and it just becomes too much? So there's not always one clear trigger. Okay, yep. Low motivation. Yes, okay. Low energy. Okay. Low appetite. Okay. Feelings of hopelessness or helplessness, particularly about your future or your current situation. Feeling hopeless about your future. Okay. Feelings of irritability. Okay, so how would you say that affects you? Snapping, yeah. Okay. Would you say no enjoyment or low levels of enjoyment from previously enjoyed activities? So for example, your favourite hobbies, your favourite TV shows or games. Would you say that you experience the same amount of joy from these things as previously, or less so? Okay. And how has that affected you? Has that stopped you from engaging in these activities, or do you continue to engage in them but get less enjoyment out of them? You don't do them anymore. Okay, so you've stopped some of your hobbies. Okay, that's interesting. That's something that a cognitive behavioural therapist might be able to work on with you, but we can talk about that a bit later. Okay, so social withdrawal. So spending time with your friends, your family, going to social gatherings, parties, etc. Would you say there's been any change in this regard? Some? Okay. Would you say that previously to feeling depressed over the past few months, how would you describe your social life? Okay, and how would you describe it now? Okay, right. So you've kind of stopped seeing some of your friends. Okay. Are there any other major symptoms or experiences that you are having that I haven't covered on the list? Disturbed sleep. Yes, that is actually a very good point. So how has your sleep been? Okay. Right. So you're struggling to get to sleep at night? Yeah. You're waking up, feeling tired. How many hours a night? How many hours of sleep a night would you say that you're getting? Only 4 or 5? Okay, yeah. In that case, it's no wonder that you're waking up feeling tired. And if you're waking up frequently in the night, then it's also likely that you're not really entering into a deep sleep, so your body isn't really getting the rest that it needs. So we can definitely look into some ways of improving your sleep. Would you say that it is physical or mental issues that are preventing you from falling asleep? So, is it your body that just won't switch off, or is it your mind that won't switch off? Or it could be, is it outside factors, interruptions? Is your mind? Okay. And what's going on in your head at bedtime when you lay your head down on a pillow? What kind of things are racing through your head? Okay. Right. So lots of negative thoughts. Lots of worries. Right, and feelings of dread. Is that dread about going into work or school the following day, or is it dread about something else? Okay. Sounds to me like you could also be having a bit of anxiety, and that's affecting your sleep, which in turn is making you feel low, tired and worse overall, which could also be contributing to your depression. Does that sound about right? Okay. Right, so we've talked about sleep. We will get that sorted, I promise. In terms of your physical health, so do you have any physical ailments, physical pains, aches, anything like that going on in your body? Headaches, okay, yeah. So the headaches could be related to the poor sleep. In your actual body itself, do you have any aches and pains? You don't? Okay, that's good. How does your body feel? Do you feel fit and healthy or not? and slow. Yeah, that will probably be the low energy that's making you feel that way, okay? Now this question, it might not sound relevant, but this is just to help me get an idea of your overall life circumstances. So, just would like to ask you about your housing situation and your financial situation. So, are you doing okay financially? Do you have a good, stable place to live that you can afford? So basically, do you feel quite comfortable in your housing and your financial life? Okay, good. Now I'm glad about that, because those two things combined, if someone doesn't feel stable in that area of life, that can be a huge source of stress. So I just wanted to rule that one out. Okay. Are you in full-time employment or full-time education? You are? Okay. And how many hours a week do you go to work or school? 36, okay. So yeah, that's definitely full-time. Okay, so it sounds like you've been continuing to go to work throughout the last few months. Have you had any time off at all over the past few months, whether that be mental health days, sick days, or just vacation days? You haven't had any time off at all, apart from the weekends, okay? So in the UK, it's quite normal to have somewhere between 4 weeks and 6 weeks of vacation time a year. So I don't know if where you live that is the case or not, but it is very important to take your vacation time when you can, because the more you just keep trying to power through, the more you're going to burn yourself out. So it's important to kind of spread your weeks off or your days off throughout the year, so you've always got them to look forward to. And even just a week at home, even if you don't go on holiday, even if you just stay home, you basically use that week to recharge, to rest, to focus on your self-care. And it's just really important for your mental health that you are using your vacation days, okay? So I would advise as soon as possible to book yourself some time off, okay? If that's possible for you where you work. You're gonna try, okay? Let me know how you get on with that. Okay. We have touched upon this, but your social relationships and your family relationships, how would you say that they are currently? Would you say that those have become affected by your depression? So you have been withdrawing from your friends? Yeah. And what about your family? Are you quite close with your family? Do you feel like you have someone, maybe one person, or maybe a couple of people that you can lean on, that you can talk to about your feelings? Yeah, you can think of someone. Okay, that's good, because some people don't have that. But if you have just one person that you can open up to, it can kind of relieve some of that negative emotion. They say a problem shared is a problem halved. Yeah, just talking about things, talking about your feelings, and especially if that person is understanding definitely help just to relieve some of the pressure. So have you tried talking to this person? You don't want to be a burden. Okay, so you're not a burden. Absolutely not. So please don't believe that. I would say give it a go, having a chat with this person. You can just start small. You don't have to tell them everything all at once, just with a little bit of how you're feeling. See how they respond, okay? If they're understanding, great. Then you found someone that you can continue to talk to. If they're not understanding, then I do have some other options for you. Have you ever heard of the Samaritans? So it's a telephone line here in the UK. It's free. You can call them anytime, 24/7, and you'll be put through to a volunteer who you can just talk to. Yep, you can talk to them about absolutely anything, however you're feeling. They are quite focused on feelings, so they won't be able to give you any advice or practical solutions. They're just there to listen and help you to explore your feelings. Yeah, and if you don't feel like talking over the phone, they also have a text line and an email, and I'll give you the details of this at the end, okay? So you can actually contact them from internationally as well. I believe the text and the phone calls might be UK only, but the emails definitely can be used worldwide. So yeah, it's just someone to talk to anytime you feel like you're alone, anytime you've got some things to get off your chest, you just feel like you need to say it to another person. They're just there to listen. Like I said, they don't give advice, but what they can do is help to kind of steer you in the right direction. There might not always be a solution, but just by talking through your feelings, it kind of helps you to work things out yourself. Yeah, I'll give you the details at the end, okay? Perfect. Okay. Do you have any dependents on you, so children or pets, or perhaps elderly parents? Anyone who is dependent on you? Okay. Would you say that you're coping fine in that regard? Or would you say that's a cause of stress for you in your life? A lot of people do say that their children are what keeps them going, so that's lovely. Okay. So, past experiences. This could be things that have happened in your childhood, or growing up, or in the recent past. Is there anything at all that jumps out at you? Whether it's previous episode of mental health, or trauma, or an accident, or grief, anything at all that you feel is kind of could be contributing. Okay. Right. The reason I ask is because cognitive behavioural therapy, which I would like to arrange for you, tends to focus on the here and now, the present moment, your present feelings, everything that's happening in your life now. It doesn't touch on your past, it doesn't touch on your childhood, so you could say in some ways it doesn't really get to the root cause. So if there was something major from your past that is contributing to your depression, then we would be looking at other kinds of therapies, either as well or instead of. So you're fine in that regard, okay? We will stick with the CBT then for now, if that sounds like something you'd like to explore. It does, yeah. Cognitive behavioural therapy is very effective. It's most effective for mild to moderate depression and anxiety, kind of the more complex mental health issues, personality disorders, eating disorders. You might have to be steered towards more specialist treatments, but I'd say that CBT is definitely a good starting point for you. Okay, good. So before we move on to treatments, I'd just like to end the assessment on a positive note. So I'm going to ask you about your strengths, your skills, and your aspirations for the future. Give me an idea of how you see yourself and where you see yourself in the future. Okay? You're a hard worker. Good. A very caring person. Definitely, I do get that impression from you. What about your skills? What do you feel you're particularly good at? There must be some. Yeah. You're fluent in 2 languages. That's amazing. Myself, I can only speak 1 language. Okay, and your aspirations for the future. So where do you see yourself this time next year, in 2 years, 5 years? So hold that very, very clearly in your mind, and we're going to work towards that, okay? We're not going to give up. It doesn't matter if it takes 6 months, a year, 2 years, however long it takes, we will keep working towards it, okay? Everyone is on a different journey, so please don't feel like you're behind because your friends or your family have done certain things before you. For example, got married, have kids, have high-paying jobs. Please don't compare yourself to other people. We're all on an individual journey, okay? Perfect, good. Just try to keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give you a diagnosis, okay? I will say that it sounds like depression with some anxiety as well. Does that sound right to you? Is that what you thought it would be when you came in? You did, yeah. And it sounds like it's been going on for a good few months, and it's been affecting you quite a lot. So I'd say we're looking at least moderate depression. Right. It has been affecting you, hasn't it? Yeah, so don't worry. What we're going to do is we're going to get you sorted. So we've got a few different treatment options. We can do medication, we can do cognitive behavioural therapy, or we can do both. So you do have a choice. It is your life after all. Personally, I would recommend both. I think these things are always better if we tackle them from multiple angles. So we're going to bring in the medication, bring in the CBT, and then bring in a few self-help methods as well. Right? prescribe you an SSRI. So that stands for Selective Serotonin Reuptake Inhibitors. Have you heard of this before? Yeah. Have you ever used one before? Have you ever taken any before? Okay, you haven't. They are very effective. They have very few side effects. However, they do take 4 to 6 weeks to kind of start working. What they do is they enhance your brain chemistry so that it functions more efficiently. You've got different kinds of neurotransmitters in your brain, one of them being serotonin. And what they do, these neurotransmitters, they carry messages from one brain cell to another. And people with kind of low serotonin, or if you have issues with the reuptake process, it can be kind of not very effective. And that is actually one of the biggest causes of depression, purely in terms of brain chemistry. So medication is actually really effective at getting that sorted out. So we've got a few we can take: fluoxetine, paroxetine, citalopram, or sertraline. Have you heard of any of these before? Okay, we'll start on fluoxetine. Okay, I'll get that written up for you. So if you just start by taking it once a day, and what we'll do, if you come back in 4 weeks' time, we'll see how you're getting on, and if you need to increase the dose or lower the dose or anything like that, okay? Or switch to one of the others if we feel it's not working. So bear in mind, it does take 4 to 6 weeks to be effective, okay? And it can take even 3 to 4 months to fully have an effect. So the sooner we get you on that, the better, because we really don't want this dragging out any longer. It sounds like it has gone on long enough for you as it is. Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, a few weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, if you're feeling slightly better at the end and you carry it on, and by the time you've been taking it for a few months, you might be feeling a lot better. So in the grand scheme of things, those 4 to 6 weeks will fly by. Okay, especially because we're going to tackle it from other angles during that time. Okay, so I'll get that prescription printed out for you today. You can pop it into the pharmacy next door, and you can even begin your first dose today. Yeah, no point hanging around, no point waiting around. We'll start today. Okay, brilliant. So, as well as that, I will put you for CBT. Have you ever had CBT before? You haven't? Have you heard of it? You know someone who's gone through it. Okay, so we briefly mentioned earlier, but I'll just go through it again. Cognitive behavioural therapy is a talking therapy. However, it's not it's more structured, very structured kind of therapy, where the therapist will work with you to break your problems down into small chunks and divide it up into your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviours. And essentially, the theory is that your thoughts, feelings, and behaviours are all connected. If you have a negative thought, for example, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, that's going to affect your feelings. You might feel inadequate, you might feel worthless, and then that's going to affect your behaviours. So for example, if you think you can't do something, then maybe in turn the behaviour would be not to do it, to not even try it. So it's kind of a vicious cycle negative kind of self-fulfilling cycle. Yeah, so CBT kind of, first and foremost, it tackles the negative thoughts, and instead it kind of helps you to find positive thoughts, with the idea that you will then have more positive feelings, more positive behaviours, and then you kind of pull yourself out of that spiral. That's the theory. It is generally quite effective for mild to moderate depression and anxiety. There's no guarantee that it works with more complex issues, but it's always worth a try, especially as a first line of defense. If that doesn't work, there's a few other therapies we can try. The therapist is likely to give you homework, likely to give you worksheets, likely to ask you to complete a journal at home, that kind of thing. So if you fully commit to it for the duration, you're more likely to see positive benefits from it, okay? Brilliant. So we've got your medication sorted, okay? And we will begin today. And you're aware that it could take 4 weeks to 6 weeks to start seeing the effects of that, okay? And then we've got CBT, and I will get the first appointment sent through to you. Should be within the next 2 weeks, okay? And then it will be 1 appointment a week for the next 10 weeks. So medication and CBT, kind of a multi-pronged approach. Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to give you a couple of things, alright? I'm going to give you a journal. So this is for you to keep. It's just a notebook. What I want you to do is take this home and just fill it up with whatever you want. It could be just pouring out your thoughts and feelings. It could be writing lists. It could be, you could use it as a daily diary. I find that writing things down is very effective for my patients. They usually come back and say that this actually helps quite a lot. You can keep track of your feelings, you can keep track of your negative thoughts. Anytime a negative thought kind of crops up, just pop it down, and then what you can do is you can try to think of a more positive thought, or at least a more neutral thought that could oppose the negative thought, okay? You could write down some positive affirmations. Yeah, anything like that is yours to do with as you wish, okay? So that's for you. Good. And another book for you. So this one is called Mind Over Mood. Mind over mood. And this is actually a self-help cognitive behavioural therapy book. So as you'll be going through a lot of these methods in your CBT, as that might take a good week or two to come through, in the meantime, if you just have a read through this, familiarise yourself with the approach of CBT, okay? I'm just going to show you. You've got, it's like a workbook. You're allowed to write in it, okay? You're allowed to scribble in it. You're allowed to highlight things, fold down pages, anything like that. So this book is yours to keep. And it shows you kind of of explains to you the method, and it's got lots of empty pages where you fill in the charts, fill in the graphs with your own kind of details, okay? Your own thoughts, your own feelings. It's really good to have the book as backup when you're doing CBT, okay? The sessions are great, but as it's just one session a week for a maximum of 1 hour, sometimes when you start to feel a bit more motivated and you start to get your energy back and you start to get really, really involved, it's good to just have the book and say, okay, I'm going to tackle this on my own now, okay? So use it in conjunction with the therapy, okay? I'll pop it down here on the table for you. Now, in the long term, I definitely don't expect you to do this right away, but I would say that exercise is also a very, very good way of helping to move past depression. Okay, you don't have to start now, and I would say when you start to get your energy back, because you will, I promise you will, maybe start picking a physical activity. Could be walking, could be cycling, could be swimming, could be jogging, could be going to gym classes, or it could be something like yoga that you can do indoors. Pick one that you like and just set yourself the goal. Okay, I'm going to do this once a week, twice a week, or even just once a fortnight, once a month. It's okay to start small, okay? It's okay to start and say, I will just do this once, and then we'll go from there. And if you don't like it, you don't have to do it ever again. You can try something else. Yeah. You can track your progress in the notebook. For me personally, mine is swimming. So I have a little notebook where I track how many lengths I swim. Yep, you could track how many minutes you walk for, how many miles you run for, etc. Now, as for the sleep, we did talk about your sleep, didn't we? I've got 2 options, and again, you can choose one of them, or you can choose both of them. So I could give you a mild sedative to help you sleep. That's perfectly acceptable, that's okay. And, or the other option, there are certain videos on YouTube that a lot of people find very relaxing and it helps them sleep. So mostly I'm talking about ASMR. Have you heard of it before? It stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. So kind of it's a bit different for everyone, but it creates this tingly, relaxed feeling in your body, usually in your scalp and down your neck, and sometimes all the way down your spine. And it kind of helps to soothe you off to sleep. Now, it's not for everyone. Some people love it and they can fall asleep to it very quickly. Other people hate it and they just can't stand any sounds at all when they're trying to sleep. But I always recommend it. It's worth a try. Some people say that it's really, really helped them in ways that they can't describe, you can't imagine. It's really, really lifted them out of depression. It's given them a whole new lease of life. So I would just say, if you go onto YouTube, type in ASMR sleep, ASMR for sleep, and all kinds of videos will come up. So you've got videos with people whispering, videos with people making various sounds. Some people like the tapping sounds, some people like scratching sounds, and there's also role plays. Role plays are very good as well. They're more vocal based, usually whispered or softly spoken, and they just help to soothe you and lull you off to sleep. So give it a not weird, I promise you. There's no shame in it. It's actually a very positive thing, and it has a very positive effect on the body and the mind. Yes, a bit like meditation, which brings me to the next point. If you don't like ASMR, or perhaps in conjunction with, you can always go onto YouTube and search for meditations or sleep sounds. Yep, there's hundreds, thousands, even probably hundreds of thousands of meditations on YouTube, and they're all completely free. So you don't have to pay for anything, it's all free. And you can find ones specifically for sleep, specifically for depression. So give that a go, okay? We can give you the medication as well, but I would say you don't have to use it every single night. Just use it on the nights when you're struggling the most. Yeah? I would say to help you sleep, what time of the evening do you normally have dinner? Okay. Is there any way that you might be able to bring that forward a bit? Sometimes when you eat a heavy meal too late at night and your body is trying to digest it, that can keep you awake. So aiming for 6 to 6:30 p.m. is ideal. Of course it depends on your hours at work, of course. Caffeine. Do you drink caffeinated drinks? You do? Okay, what time of day would you say that you have your last one? And actually, how many would you say that you have over the day? Okay, so you have 2 or 3 in the morning. Yeah, 1 in the afternoon and 1 in the evening. Okay. How would you feel about cutting out that evening one and switching to a decaffeinated drink? Yeah, so you can still have tea and coffee. Just try decaf. Or try something a bit more soothing like chamomile tea. Yeah, or mint tea, something like that. It has a very relaxing, calming effect on the body, but of course you don't want to drink too much fluid at bedtime anyway, because then you're going to be up for the toilet. So I'd say just keep to the 1. Okay, so hopefully your sleep will improve with these methods, okay? So we've got the sedative, we've got YouTube, ASMR, meditations. I'm going to bring your evening meal forward slightly and cut out caffeine in the evening and just see if that has an effect, okay? All of that together, it should help. But come back to me in a month and let me know how you're doing. Yep, and in the terms of the depression, we've got the medication, the CBT, the self-help book, and the journal, and the exercise. And don't forget, you've always got the Samaritans available to you 24/7. So you can phone them, you can text them, and you can email them again. And remember, the email works no matter what country you're in, okay? So I'll give you the information, okay? I'll get you your leaflet. Can you see them just by the door? Yeah, grab one on your way out, okay? So, it sounds like a lot. How do you feel about our action plan? Yeah, are you feeling quite positive about it? Brilliant, okay. Don't let yourself get overwhelmed, okay? It does sound like a lot. We're going to do this in baby steps, okay? For now, I'd say don't worry about the exercise for at least the first 4 weeks, okay? We'll just focus on the medication, the journal, and the therapy, okay? when you're starting to feel a bit better, then we'll kind of pull in some exercise, okay? Yep, and you can journal throughout. If you try the journaling for a few weeks and you think, it's not for me, I don't like this, then don't worry, you can just scrap it. And if you think, okay, this is really helping, then carry on. Okay, so exactly 1 month from today, should we say same time? Yep. And we will come back to review. Perfect. Okay. And I am really looking forward to finding out how you're getting on, okay? Good, good. And don't forget, pop into the pharmacy on your way out. Okay. Bye now.